this is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutagen Ooze Turtles. As you can see, we'll be looking at the Ooze tossing Raph, Ooze launching Leo, the Ooze chucking Mikey, and of course, the Ooze scooping Donnie. Now these figures are part of their, I don't want to say their second wave, but it's kind of a new look for the Ninja Turtles, really going back to the old days where the old original 80s cartoon figures were really kind of goofy looking. I mean, there were some that were dressed up like werewolves, there were some dressed up like vampires, there were some dressed up like sports players. I mean, there were so many different ones, and I absolutely love to see that kind of same thing going on now with the new modern ones. As you can see, the packaging is pretty much the same except for whatever figure that you're going to have. Looking at Raph here, coming on here to the back, you see all four of the turtles. You've got two new vehicles, including the Mutagen Ooze Drop Copter and the Mutagen Ooze Sewer Cruiser. Now, I picked up the Drop Copter. That one I just didn't feel. I didn't feel it. Didn't feel too much. And then we got the little bio up here that says, fighting the Krang, the turtles learn the power and dangers of Mutagen Ooze and watched it create some awesome allies and awful adversaries. Now that Donatello's built each member of their team their own Ooze-Zooka, the Krang and the Foot Clan are in for a sticky surprise. And you see, you fill it, you press to load the ooze, you'll fire with a quick twist, and there you go. And it says the Mutagen Ooze is the mysterious goo that turned the green team from pet turtles into the heroes in a half shell they are today. The Ooze also created their many mutant friends and foes. Handle with care, and it says that the Ooze is sold separately, and I'm going to actually use that in this review. It does come with a couple little launching projectiles that you can put in the scoop and launch if you don't have the Ooze, but I do have the Ooze, so there you go, all four of them. Let's get them open and see how cool they actually are. Alright guys, so here we have the Mutagen Ooze Ninja Turtles open up and out of their packaging. Now, starting things off first, we're going to talk about the stuff that it comes with. They do come with instructions in case it's very difficult for you to figure out how to actually use these toys. They come with some weird advertisement for books that you can buy wherever books are sold, and it also comes with this little kind of cross-promotional sort of thing that shows other figures. The only thing that really is special in here is we see kind of images of the Baxter Stockman and Snakeweed. Those are two of the new figures that I'm really very excited about. Then it also shows the pop-up pizza playset, which I'm really interested in actually getting because I wonder how nicely it can be incorporated with the regular sewer playset. It seems like you might be able to, which is really very cool. And then the other thing that I'm really very excited about is the interactive TurtleCom, which I've wanted a TurtleCom ever since the original toy line, and I was never able to get one. And nowadays they go for ridiculously stupid money. So I'll be buying that without a doubt. So I love that they're doing this again. It just reminds me of toys that I got when I was a kid. Kenner used to do it a lot, and I love seeing this. But now for the figures, as you see, I have them opened up and fully assembled. We're going to be taking a look at Michelangelo first off. These backpacks, they do they pop back off? Oh yeah, I guess they do come back off. They come detached like so, and then you also have police car driving past. And don't they know when I'm doing videos? God. Okay, so one thing that's really cool is each one of these have kind of slightly different molded handles, and I'll show that off here in just a second. But the other real cool thing is they also allow you to take the weapons from your previous like Ninja Turtle figures and you can store them on these little backpacks. Now I don't have Michelangelo's, but I'll show you the other ones because I don't like taking Mikey's and bending his. But as you can see, this just comes unattached, and then you just, oh, what the heck? No, I kind of pulled the whole thing out. There we go. Pop that right back in there, and then just give that a nice little plug in. Boom, there you go. This little bit right here we'll talk about later on. It's actually a really cool feature. This just pegs in here and then sits between two little kind of prongs that stick out here on the side just to kind of keep it locked into position. But here you have the Michelangelo figure. Now, one thing that I will talk about is how radically different the paint job here on the promotional images, how they look compared to the actual figures that we got. As you can see, Mikey's got like these silver bits on his boots. He obviously doesn't have it here. And his little shoulder strap thing is also black, which again isn't the case here. And all of the figures have that. You see Donatello, he's got yellow stripes here on his boots. He doesn't have that at all. Looking at Raphael, he's got the silver bits on here. He's got white stripes across his jumpsuit. Again, that figure doesn't have it. And then Leonardo, I mean, they're all unfortunately very different than what the images show here. And that does kind of suck because those are really nice paint applications, which this is really unfortunately lacking. The other thing that really lacks on these figures is its articulation. The head's on ball joints, except Mikey's is really stiff, and it's like impossible to turn this little sucker. Everybody else has fine head articulation. You know, they're on regular ball joints, but Mikey's is like absolutely impossible to turn easily. That just really sucks. Now they do have these little handles here. Just get this out of the way. The hands are very stiff. The shoulders rotate up and down. That's it. Both sides, up and down. That's it. They rotate at the waist all the way around. And again, that's it. And literally, that is it, because there's nothing in the legs. These legs are completely locked into position. There's no articulation beyond that whatsoever, and that's true with all these turtles. He does have this like little hose thing, which you can have him hold it if you really want. You can kind of loop it around, I guess, something like that, I suppose, just to kind of store it, I guess, or maybe if you didn't want to use that. Well, let's see here. Does that fit in there? No. Does it fit in there? No. I guess I can loop it up in here on Mikey, since I'm not using his actual weapons. But there's Michelangelo for you. Not a bad looking figure. I really do like it. I like the face sculpt on here. One thing I will mention is that the face sculpts look a little bit more cartoon accurate when it comes to these guys. Coming over here to Leonardo, as you can see, you have the jumpsuit as well. Again, not really painted like what we saw in the promotional pictures, but you can see the little knob thing right here. Just this, not the whole bottom section, just this section right here, as you can see, is slightly different. But in terms of the faces, here you have this Leonardo, and here's the original figure one, and he looks a little bit shorter, actually, doesn't he? Yeah, he does kind of look a little bit shorter. Now, what you could do is the heads do pop off. Some of these figures it works okay with, some of them it doesn't. But you can see that the head is a little bit smaller on these new ones, and there goes a fire truck again or something like that. So if you really wanted to, you can take this and maybe pop it on there. I mean, it doesn't fit all that well. Yeah, that one, it doesn't fit too terribly well. And you can see just how, I mean, they're different sizes. So the Leonardo one isn't going to work all that well. I think Donatello and Raphael actually work the best. So let me get this back on here. And like I said, I mean, you can just see that there's a little bit more kind of cartoon accuracy with these. But once you do, again, you can see that the head sizes are a little bit smaller than the original ones. So you might be able to take this one and, oh yeah, that actually goes on. But now he looks like he's got a really low neck. He doesn't look like he's got, actually, that's not too terribly bad looking, I guess. But again, that now makes his rotation here a little bit stiffer than what I would probably prefer. Then, yeah, that's a little bit more loose, but so that works. Now, getting you off is a pain. And again, with Donatello, you can see a little bit more accurate kind of look to it, but this, I don't know if you can see this, I can absolutely not get this to fit on there at all, and even if it did, the head would just look a little bit too small. So the head sizes are a little bit different, so that's one thing I guess that's kind of cool. They're not just direct reuses of parts, but again, he's a little, maybe it's because that he's wearing boots, I guess. Now, as I mentioned, the really cool thing is that if you do have those figures before and you have their weapons, such as this, each one comes with these like individually molded bits right here that they're just, I mean, this is the only thing that's really new. You can actually use that and you can store their original weapons. So here's Raph's. He's got two smaller little holes here that fits his size nicely. Oh, there's my hand. Can't get my hands in the way so that you guys can't see things. So there's that. And then, for example, we got Leo, and he's got a little bit bigger of a hole here for his katanas, like so. And as I mentioned, Mikey does have that as well, but I don't like using his weapons all that much because they're the plastic and they kind of stress those. But there you have them. Now, the biggest feature with these dudes are the chucking gimmick that they have here. Now, you do have these little dot things. They're all individually colored. Obviously, you can see that Leo comes with blue ones, Raph has red, and of course Donnie has purple. Michelangelo here has these orange ones. You can just put it there and then fling it, and it goes flying. So angling up so that you can see it. Obviously, this is going to fling a whole lot better than the ooze, I'm assuming. But I got some ooze right here, so let's find out. What you do, just come around here, take this, lift this out, kind of, this just, come on. That just kind of plunges in there, and you got this little rubber plunger. Then we're gonna open this guy, and we're gonna pour a little bit of this stuff in there. Not a lot. I don't need a lot of this stuff to demonstrate it for you, but you get it inside there, kind of, sort of. You can see it. Set that off to the side. Then take the plunger doodad, put that inside here, bring this all the way down, lock this into place. Oh, it's his bandana that was getting in the way. All right, so now we lock that into place. Then all you do is you push this down, and as you push it down, once it gets down to the bottom here, you're gonna see it come out of that. Oh, geez, and it went a little bit too fast. So here, let me try that one more time here, shall I? Okay, so we're just gonna slowly squeeze it. All right, then you can kind of see it coming out there. Come on, maybe tilt it so it gets in there a little bit better. Okay, now the really cool thing is you can see that arm on the inside there is designed so that you lift it up and it kind of cuts that ooze off right like so. So now you don't have a big long dangly bit, and then you chuck it. So you just kind of lift it up, and that didn't do jack squat. So you lift it up and chuck it. It dribbles down there. Okay. So we bring it up here and chuck it. So it doesn't chuck very well. Yeah, it doesn't work all that well at all. So it's an interesting, where'd it go? There it is. It's an interesting kind of gimmick, just doesn't function. That actually flung pretty good. It just doesn't function all that well. It kind of just globulates and just doesn't do much of really anything. So the gimmick it's not that great, to be totally honest. And the Michelangelo one, it's hard to get this off because his bandana here's in the way. And then I'm just gonna take this out. Then one thing that they tell you to do as kids is be responsible for your toys. So they include this little weapon sort of toothpick looking thing, which is actually designed to be plugged inside there to clean it out, which that's actually pretty cool. And it, keeps your kids being responsible and keeping their toys clean and things. So that's a really cool little touch. The gimmick doesn't work all that well. It's a fun gimmick. It's really kind of neat. I like what they did with it. I love how they kind of incorporated the plunger to kind of make it ooze out of here. I like how they designed this where you can actually cut the ooze off from the rest of the ooze, and then you got the cleaning tool. I love what they're doing with that. But in all honesty, the functionality just it doesn't work all that terribly well. Now you do have these little globs that you can toss things. It works so much better with this than it actually does with the real slime. So the slime is not necessary to have because it does give you bits that you can fling. It's just one of the big cross-selling points is using these with the ooze. and it just doesn't work all that good. Now, I still really like these figures, and if you are interested in picking these up, I absolutely would do so. If nothing more than for that nostalgia of going back like to the original line where they gave us really kind of goofy figures, this definitely does it for you. I'm actually really happy that I picked these up despite the fact that the flinging action doesn't work all that well. These guys look great, and somebody even mentioned that they really do have a very kind of Ghostbuster look to them, and I totally see it. You got the jumpsuits, you got the gloves, you got little name badges actually on here as well, and then big giant proton pack looking things. So these can be my ghost busting turtles, I suppose. So no matter what, I do like these figures. I do recommend them. There is some limitations, such as the actual functionality of tossing the ooze. No articulation really to speak of. But as an adult collector, these are nice to have on a shelf just to collect. I'm not going to be putting these in action poses. If you want to do that, that's what these guys are for. But beyond that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Sorry it didn't come together as well as I hoped to. I really hoped that I'd be flinging ooze all over the place and really kind of destroy this gray backboard, but yeah, oh well. But until next time, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.